Damas y caballeros, bienvenidos a un nuevo video. Como habíamos quedado, toca ver la historia un poquito de Fu Hua. Me di cuenta que no aparece como crónica, sino como centro de operación. Supongo que será esto, no le di ningún vistazo rápido. Pero hasta en inglés. Bueno, no estoy muy acostumbrado en inglés, pero está todo bien. Mientras esté subtitulado al español.
Fu Hua has shaped the history under different names and identities.
Es muy cierto.
The eighth Hersher, who calls herself Fu Hua, has now appeared
No
before
sé,
us.
perdón, pauseo. No sé qué tanto abarcará esto. Es muy corto, 9 minutitos.
Really? What has Fu Hua undergone in 50,000 years? Let's take a closer look at the long and solitary life of a warrior.
No me hagas eso,
Fu
la
Hua
solitaria
was
vida de
born
un
in the
guerrero,
lower
no me hagas
district
eso,
of a
dale.
previous era metropolis. She grew up practicing martial arts after her father and lived a
Ven,
disciplined
de todo es
life.
algo que ya sabemos, como
Due to her
siempre.
humble
Es
origin,
simplemente
plain
recordatorio, ¿saben?
appearance, and straight reserved personality,
De ley,
Fu Hua was a loner when she studied in
no es
Sapphire.
tan, de ley no es tan
Only until
obligatorio
she
que
saved
veamos
a
esto.
classmate during a
Pero
zombie
siempre es bueno
attack
verlo.
that she gained the acceptance of those around her and learned to warm up to people. But just when she was
Y
beginning to
ocurrió la
envision a
desgracia.
bright
Nada puede
future,
quedarse, nada.
fate forced her on a path that
Holy
she had
shit.
never imagined.
Buena transición,
The Honkai impact tore what she knew apart. The city was burned to the ground and her family and friends were killed.
Ouch.
Fu Hua fled and was
Tan a
saved by
detalle no lo
Moss
sabía.
Squad 5 leader Himiko.
Esto sí lo sabía.
In a world where one
Leímos la
could
parte del
not
manga, de
survive
hecho.
alone, Fu Hua could no longer afford to dream and was only left with the mission to eliminate Honkai. Fu Hua joined Moth as a soldier.
Esta
but
parte
she
me
was
interesa
still
porque
too
no me
weak to
acordaba
save
tanto, ¿saben?
anything. Cities
Pero
fell.
simplemente
Billions
es
of lives perished.
más sufrimiento
Her
para
savior,
ella. Ay,
Himiko,
miércoles.
died in the hands of her comrades after transforming
¿Cómo
into a
olvidarse de esto,
Hersher.
hermano?
She only had the passion to defeat Honkai, not the power to realize it.
No el poder para
In the face of
realizarlo.
an overwhelming enemy, was running away the best thing she could do?
Claro, había aparecido un
Fu
enemigo
Hua
que no
did
podía
not accept her
derrotar.
fate.
Y ahí,
Burning with a grudge against her
donde
fate,
logró la
Fu Hua
transformación.
was reborn after challenging death in an experiment that was deemed lethal. Igor miraculously fused with her and
Ahí
transformed
está.
her
Esto
into a
era lo que había
mantis.
visto en el manga. Bueno,
And
vimos
the
en el
user
manga.
of Key of Domination, as well as Fun
El
Fong
Fun Down.
Down. The mantis brought home one victory after another, until the final Hersher descended. Humanity stood no chance in the decisive war.
Masacre total
The
fue
few
eso.
that survived
Miren toda la llave de
forfeited
me
their
encanta. La
civilization.
ayuda, el Samash
They
y el
put
resto no sé qué
themselves
son.
into cryogenic sleep so they could start anew when the time arrives. And so Fu Hua's story enters the next chapter.
Hasta
After
ahora,
10
dentro de
millennia
todo.
of sleep, Fu Hua was awakened as the executor of Project
Claro, esto es lo que
Amber.
vimos en el manga. ¿Cómo
His mission
olvidarlo?
was to guide the people of the new era in developing their civilization and
Y
resisting
en la
Honkai.
resistencia de Honkai. Bien,
Fu Hua was
afortunadamente
not
esto es lo
alone
que
in
es.
this. She was surrounded by lifelong friends
está
who
rodeada.
genuinely cared for her and wanted her to take back her life.
Claro, perdón, pauseo. Claro, me había olvidado de esto lo que decían un poquito. Estaba rodeada de amigos de toda la vida
Friends
que
who
se preocupaban por
genuinely
ella.
cared for her and wanted
Pero
her to take
si no mal recuerdo, ella en ese momento no supo apreciar eso. Después de todo lo que estaba viendo Fu Hua.
back
Si no mal
her life.
recuerdo. Mucho tiempo.
Yet she lost all of them
Mucho
in a
tiempo después se dio
judgment
cuenta
class
de eso.
Honkai disaster. Fu Hua became alone again.
Volvió a quedarse
As a
sola.
mantis, she is immortal. As the user of Feng Huang Down, her
Tuvo una
memories
fase-
last
Ouch,
forever.
hermano.
In Fu
Me
Hua's
acuerdo de
near
eso y
everlasting
Dios.
life, as fleeting as her interpersonal encounters may be, the inevitable parting that ensued would still scar her for life. With her last friend gone, Fu Hua closed off her heart.
Ouch, hermano.
She secluded herself.
Ay. Perdón. Ay. Saben que me encanta Fu Hua. Leer esto otra vez es un golpe bajo para mí. Encima, planazo, ¿eh? La mejor
From
forma de
the
Fu
earthly
Hua. Me
world.
parece 10 de 10.
Carried on the mission of eliminating Honkai like the programmed robot.
Como un robot programado.
No mercy for the corrupted became her sole code of conduct. She only cared for the mortals' corruption,
No sus
not
vidas.
their lives.
Ouch, hermano.
In
Para, no es un golpe bajo para mí.
1458
Ay, saben que la
Fu
quiero
Hua
mucho.
founded the school of Taishuan
No soporto
at
leer
Mount
esto,
Taishuan,
ni verlo.
Shenzhou. It was to safeguard Shenzhou and cleanse the world of Honkai. The school of Taishuan, which only had 7 disciples, dominated the martial arts world with the edge of Taishuan, a secret sword fighting
Me
style
acabo de
that could
acordar lo que
channel
pasó con esto,
Honkai
claro.
energy.
Los
To the
discípulos
ordinary
habían... Ay,
people,
no digo
Fu
nada.
Hua was as untouchable as a celestial.
Lo van a
and hence
mencionar
was named
seguro, lo van a
Phoenix.
mencionar. Lo que pasó
In
con los discípulos. Si no lo mencionan sería
1475 AD, on the
sorprendente.
Kipchak steppes in Central
Claro, acá está
Asia,
lo que pasó la guerra.
Fu Hua single-handedly trounced Chicxul's elite forces and their strongest Valkyrie, Kalin
Hermosa,
Kaslana.
bestial.
This battle
Claro, y
also
acá está
led
el
Fu
tema de
Hua's
Kalin.
first encounter with Otto Apocalypse, her lifelong rival. In the next year, for reasons unknown, her 7 disciples mutinied and razed Mount Taishuan
A ver,
to
esto
the
es lo que yo
ground.
iba a decir.
Fu Hua was grievously injured,
Claro, esto.
having lost her full power and immortality. Fu Hua temporarily withdrew from the world, since she could not protect Shenzhou and outpower state,
Eso era,
she
perdón,
made a
pauseo.
pact with
Eso era lo que me cagó un poco los discípulos que traicionaron a Fu Hua. Me había olvidado un
Fu Hua
poquito de ese
joined
detalle,
Shixal
pero
and
después me
worked for
acordé.
Otto. In return,
No dije nada
Otto
porque
pledged
supuse
to
que lo iban
watch
a
over
mencionar.
Shensho
Es
in her
importante.
stead. In 2000 AD, the second Honkai eruption
Y la
brought
razón de
total
por qué se
destruction.
alió con Otto. Ya no tenía
It
el
was
poder de
later known as
antes.
the most
Y acá tenemos a
devastating
esta
Honkai
hermosa mujer.
disaster of the current era. In a few days, multiple major cities were destroyed, resulting in millions of casualties.
Hermano, tenía 4
In this
núcleos. ¿Qué
war,
iban a esperar?
Shixal and
O sea,
the anti-entropy fought back in full force.
miren lo que
Fu Hua was
necesitaron para
dispatched to
detener.
subdue the Herschers as a Shixal Valkyrie. In Fu Hua's long life,
Necesitaron
she
de
has
todo
never
para
ceased
detenerla y así lo
rethinking what
logramos.
fighting means, so she may one day slay all Herschers and eliminate Honkai. By then, she had found the way of
Me
defeating
acuerdo.
the Herschers.
¡Ay, hermano! Me acuerdo de esto.
Unparalleled
¿Cómo dominó
combat
Fu Hua, hermano?
experience and Feng Huang Down's
Si no hubiera
power,
sido por la
Fu Hua
voluntad de Honkai,
overwhelmed
sería
the
imperdida.
pseudo-Hersher of fire and temporarily suppressed the second
Miren
Hersher who
esto.
possessed 6 Hersher
Holy
cores.
shit.
Yet even with such nigh
Planazo
immeasurable
bestial.
power, she could not defeat
Pero
the second
no lo
Hersher,
logramos.
who was under the protection
Estaba
of the
re
Lord.
rota esta mujer también.
At the
¿Qué
critical
esperaban?
moment, Fu Hua sacrificed Feng Huang Down and her memories to activate Feng Huang Down's first
La
power,
eminencia
Taishuan Eminence. It severely wounded the second Hersher and cut off her connection with the will of
Había cortado. No
Honkai,
me acuerdo. Perdón.
creating an opening for humanity to turn the tables. Fighting this war,
No me
cost Fu
acordaba
Hua
tan
her
específico
memories
eso. Pensé
and
que.
most of her power.
Perdón, no me
Over a
acordaba. No digo
decade
nada.
later,
No quiero
Fu
cagarla.
Hua enrolled at Saint Freya as an undercover agent.
Acá hay una
She
parte
became the class monitor
que no
of
me acordaba bien,
Kiana's
que era lo de
class,
antes, perdón.
to
No digo nada.
surveil the activity of the Hersher of the
Claro, y
Void
acá lo que
inside
ya sabemos
Kiana.
hasta ahora. Ay, qué
Although she
bonito.
approached Kiana and her friends with an
Con un motivo
ulterior
oculto.
motive,
Les
she
agarró
regained
cariño.
long-lost friendships and bonds in a campus life
Les
full
agarró
of joy and laughter.
mucho cariño.
She carried out Otto's orders while secretly helping out Kiana and her friends to protect an addictive yet fragile
Pero
balance of
frágil.
fate.
A ver, esta parte de la historia creo que no lo vi. ¿Serán
However,
detalles o
the
otro
mission
manga?
of eliminating Honkai ultimately made her
Ay,
sanity
se viene el
liberated.
Ay, hermano, cómo
She
olvidarme
took
de
away
esto.
Kiana and helped Otto rouse the Hersher of the Void.
Ay,
Little did
Tuvo
she know
malos
that Otto did
momentos,
not play by
chicos.
the contract. He only roused the
iba a saber que
Hersher
la estaba
for his
utilizando?
selfish desires, not to protect others. To keep Fu Hua out of his
no
plan,
quiero verlo, no
he
quiero
shot
verlo. No
her.
lo hagas, no lo hagas.
To stop Otto's plan, Fu Hua
Ay,
activated
Dios,
Feng Huang Down's
menos mal que no
zero
mostraron el
power
tiro porque,
before
ay,
dying,
Dios.
to transfer her sentience
No quiero verlo
partially
de
into
vuelta,
the
en serio.
feathers and
Aunque
bind
ahora
her
está todo
sentience
bien,
with
igual,
Kiana's
Así
soul.
que,
Feng Huang Down, which bore Fu Hua's sentience, led Himiko to the
Uy,
power
hermano,
that could
ya
confront the
empezamos.
Hersher of the Void.
si no es una cosa,
and
es
provide the
otra.
serum
Dale,
that
mega
could quell the
pila.
Honkai energy inside
quién.
Kiana.
Pero,
When Bronya was trapped in Grey's Serpent's Mind
lo
Labyrinth,
usó en Kiana.
Feng Huang Down appeared in time to help her escape. After the Hersher of the Void begot a Honkai eruption,
Uy,
Kiana
hermano.
sunk into
¡Qué
self-blame and loss.
recuerdos!
It was Fu Hua's sentience that supported her and taught her how to harness the Hersher
¡Qué
power. At
recuerdos!
last,
Se siente
to
tan
protect
lejano
Kiana,
esto.
Fu Hua's sentience burned herself out in the battle against Kevin and fell into a slumber.
Nuevamente.
However, that was not the end of her story. After the
acá
Shixal
viene
battle,
otro
Otto
mambo
repaired
más.
her body, only to revive a Fu Hua that was not the fighter who upheld her mission above all else and abolished her own desires. She
Y
had the
acá
looks
empieza a
of Fu
aparecer
Hua,
un personaje
but
muy
under
querido por
frivolous,
todos,
arrogant,
también por
and
mí.
impetuous words.
Que de hecho tiene un diseño bastante bueno,
She had the
¿eh?
memories of Fu Hua,
El
but could
color
not
le queda muy
understand the
bien.
motives underpinning them. She loathed Honkai as much as Fu Hua, but she was no different from Honkai in
No era muy
action.
diferente a alguien
Purely
que cumple con
driven
la
by a
voluntad del
desire for
Honkai.
destruction, she destroyed. She killed Otto's clone and demolished half of Shixal's headquarters. To
Hizo
vent her
des-
desire for destruction, she fought Durandal and Kevin to trick Fu Hua's sentience in Feng Huang Down into submitting to her.
Hermano, qué
She
recuerdo. Perdón el
varnished
silencio, es
over
que
her motive
el
time
desastre
and
que
again.
hizo cuando había
To win
aparecido.
the trust of Kiana and Bronya, she lured them into her memories to elicit their sympathy. In the end, she was not Fu
No
Hua,
lo era.
but the eighth Hersher born from her memories. Perhaps to the eighth Hersher, this story that perpetuated itself for 50,000 years is an elaborated, pitiable tragedy.
De hecho, se lo viene
The
dici-
Fu Hua
se
that
lo-
constrained herself
se lo
and
dice
lived
bastante
solely
seguido.
for her mission was nothing but a failure. She wanted to become a better Fu
Tiene una
Hua.
mejor Fu Hua.
Perhaps the girl bathing in the sun on the grass 50,000 years ago would have had the same idea had she had learned the story of her life.
Ay,
It is a life that has seen too many betrayals, lies, and
hermano, fueron.
sacrifices.
Perdón, pauseo. Ya sé que termina, pero 50.000 años, ¿qué esperabas? Vivió de
However,
todo. Casi igual que
It is
Kevin.
also a life that shaped Fu Hua into the remarkable fighter that her friends believe in and rely upon. What does the future have in store for her? We will find out together.
50.000 largos años, hermano. Vivió de todo. Casi lo mismo que Kevin. Ay, bueno, la verdad me lo esperaba. Fue lo mismo que las anteriores crónicas. Es simplemente un repaso de la historia del personaje que nunca viene mal. Se agradece. Chicos, gracias por ver estos videos. No tengo nada que decir, tan simple como eso. Nada, los veo en el próximo video. Adiós.